Hello, everybody, and welcome to South King County Market Update. I'm Sarah Eggleston with John L. Scott, and I'm here to deliver your local and national news on real estate for the past week. I do these live shows every Friday at 3 p.m., and I want to thank you for joining me today. I do have a lot to cover. It was a busy week, so let's go ahead and jump right into it. So, first off, this is South King County Real Estate Update, January 29th. Can you believe it's the end of January already? I am shocked at how fast this week is going by, or this month, this week too. The last week's been a bit of a blur, I must admit. It's been a fun week, but a busy one for sure. So the biggest news out of this week is Governor Inslee announced that on this coming Monday, there will be 2 regions that will enter phase 2. So originally the regions had to meet 3 or 4 of 4 metrics to progress to phase 2. Now they only need to meet 3 of 4 metrics to progress to phase 2, meaning the Puget Sound region and the West region can move forward into that next phase. So this means 25% occupancy in restaurants. It means that exercise facilities are reopened with limited capacity. We haven't really gotten too much clarification on what this means for real estate offices yet. At least if it's out, I have not been able to dig it up yet, but my guess is that in-office real estate meetings probably will be able to happen on Monday, and that those offices will still be limited to about 25% capacity. But that's just a guess. I haven't seen anything confirming that as of yet. So we had a kind of a record-breaking December in a number of ways, or a notable December. New home sales rise in December after sharp November drops. So the spring started out, when the coronavirus hit, there were not a lot of home sales at all. And then as we move through 2020, the new construction home sales rose each month on how much they were making and selling, and there's been such buyer demand that the buyers were trying to build enough inventory to fill it. So we were actually increased 19% over 2019's numbers of new home sales, and for the whole year. But it started out with pretty much nothing in the spring and then rising all the way through until November, where it took like this surprising downturn, and then December popped right back up. So we're getting a lot of new construction in. The demand for new construction has just skyrocketed in 2020. I'm not sure if people just don't want a home that's previously lived in because of coronavirus, or whether they want to choose those extras when they're building the home of the special features that you get to choose. I'm not sure necessarily what's driving it as far as new construction, but I'm guessing it's kind of a number of those things put together. But existing home sales rose in 2020 to the highest in 14 years. So for the whole year, existing home sales rose 0.7 in December, pushing the whole year to a 14-year high. And there was a lot more real estate sold in 2020 than in 2019, despite the lack of inventory. As soon as houses came on the market, they got pretty much gobbled up by the buyers. So I just thought this was an interesting one to throw out there as well, that it's the highest in 14 years. And so Seattle home prices are climbing at the second fastest rate in the nation. This has been true for 10 consecutive months. We're just behind Phoenix. And really, there's not a lot of signs of that slowing down in Seattle anytime soon. But Seattle prices were up 12.7% in 2020 from 2019. And that was just about a percent shy of Phoenix. So here's the graph showing the Seattle home prices next to the national home prices here since 2015. So you can see that we have just increased at a larger rate than the rest of the nation. And that's a lot due to the business hubs that are here, the tech hubs, and the great jobs that we have here, plus our amazing region. I've been on some awesome hikes, and I know that outdoor recreation is dragging some people to our area. So if you'll remember last week, we had a mortgage rate of 2.77. So if we flip forward to this week, we have dropped to 2.73. So a year ago, it was at 3.51. And I'll just kind of summarize this here. The damage from the coronavirus pandemic suppressed home loan rates throughout 2020. So that has increased buyer demand, and the economy shrank by the largest amount in 74 years. But the housing market has been fairly insulated from this, and a lot of the jobs that were lost have come back, or people have found ways to work from home throughout the year that they didn't think of necessarily right away. And so if we take it a little bit more local here, we had 560 new listings, 910 pendings, and 520 sold. So if you look at that on the graph, we can see our New Year's here where it kind of dipped down on activity, and then we bounced back right away. And these the pended listings have really skyrocketed in the last little bit. So we'll see most of these closing in about a month. But this is a great leading indicator showing that we are headed towards a very, very busy spring. So this is showing data from North America, so kind of national numbers, and the 2021 weekly average is up 11.7% from the from the base here in 20, or they just reset this. So as far as showings, we have increased since the beginning of the year, and we are slightly ahead of where we were last year for showings, and significantly above where we were for 2019 for showings. And so this one is a national graph, but the year-over-year change in listings, you can see that the new listings kind of spike up and down throughout the year, but our overall total listings has gone down gradually throughout the whole year, and we are at like almost 45% lower than we were a year ago. We need inventory. We're dropping fast. So I'm hoping this little tick up here that we've seen since the beginning of the year will continue to grow and bring the total listings back up so our buyers have some inventory to choose from, because right now I'm having some buyers finding a home that suits their needs, and we could use some more listings on the market. So if you look at this is just really driving home that's inventory message. So this on the left here is the months of inventory months of inventory of homes for sale since 2011. And months of inventory is kind of a hypothetical number. It means if no new homes came on the market, when would you theoretically sell out of homes if you kept selling homes at the same rate? And you can see in 2012, things were moving slow. We had 9.5 months of inventory, and that has been heading downward ever since. But now we're at 1.9 months of inventory, and this is on a national scale. If you bring it closer to home, it is so much less. It varies by city and region a little bit, but I've seen a lot of areas in the Puget Sound region that are 0.3, 0.5 months inventory. So this is just showing the buyer demand compared to what's available. And this is an interesting graph. I've showed this a couple times before, but I don't talk about it a ton. This is the Housing Affordability Index since 1990. And the higher the bar is on the graph, the more affordable homes are. And this is a number that's taken with mortgage rates taking mortgage rates into consideration and average wages. So if wages go up and interest rates go down, house affordability will go up on this graph. So, I mean, we're not back at 2011, 2012 where we were back here. But we homes are significantly more affordable by this metric than they have been for much of the last couple decades. So we're definitely headed in that direction. So with wages increasing on average, and this are right now, it's mainly driven by the low interest rates, but it is more affordable by these metrics to buy a home now than any time before 2008. So just wanted to point that out. And this is a quote from Mark Fleming, who's First American's chief economist. The rising interest rates reduce house buying power and affordability, but are often a sign of a strong economy, which increases buyer demand. So lower interest rates lowering is one way to increase buyer demand, but increasing the strength of the economy and having people in general make more money is another way to drive this number forward. And interest rates are predicted to go up a little bit throughout the year, not drastically. They're still predicted to remain historically low. But if we're at a 2.7 today for a $300,000 mortgage, principal and interest payment, so your monthly mortgage payment would be a little over $1,200. If the interest rates go up to 3.4% and home values increase at the rate that economists are predicting that they will increase, your monthly mortgage payment would be $1,400, or excuse me, right about $1,400. That's almost $200 in payment difference for the same house per month. And in the life of the loan, it's $68,000 that you've lost if you wait until there's a higher interest rate to move forward with this home. And a lot of what's driving buyer demand is the capability, especially in our area being so tech centric, the ability to work from home. And many people think that this is, now that we found out that many people can work from home, it's unlikely that we'll go back to in-office work in the way it was before coronavirus. So in 2019, about 6% of the workforce worked from home. In 2020, it was about, or well, at the end of 2020, it was about 21%. And it's forecasted that that'll go down in the future. But at 2022, we've still doubled the amount of people that can work from home from 2019. So I really don't think that that's going to change for a lot of companies. It's a lot more economical in some situations to have the employees work from home, not have to have as big of an office space. And even if it's not 100% work from home, there might be, office work 2 or 3 days a week and work from home 2 or 3 days a week. So I think we'll see some of these hybrid options coming into the workforce in the future. And I just want to wrap up. Honestly, one of the questions that I have been getting the most recently from people that are considering buying is, well, shouldn't I wait to buy because there's going to be all these foreclosures? I've heard about all these foreclosures coming, and I'm just going to wait for the foreclosures. And yes, with all of the forbearance and everything, there will be some foreclosures, especially since we've had a moratorium on evictions. Once the free market comes into play again and landlords are able to evict tenants the way they were in the past, it's things are going to change a little bit. And with an eviction moratorium, when that moratorium lifts, we will see a rise in evictions because of the backlog of evictions that have been building up for a while. So this plays true for both renters and for homeowners that are paying off their mortgage and having trouble. There's going to be trouble in the future for some people, but it's not nearly as big of a percentage that it could be or was originally forecasted. So there's about 15.3% of mortgages are still in trouble of possibly going into foreclosure. But with the amount of equity that people have in their homes, it's unlikely that they'll go into foreclosure. It's more likely that they would be forced to sell and buy something smaller or move to a renting situation. But with the amount of buyers that are on the market that are just desperate for homes, the amount of inventory that's going to come up from the foreclosures is just, it's not enough to plug that hole of the buyers. It's just going to get absorbed by the market. So I really don't think we'll see any like price reductions because of the flood of more foreclosures to the market. It's just things aren't pointing to that direction right now. So if you're waiting for that foreclosure market to come up, maybe talk to me and we can kind of like look at it and see what a better option might be, because waiting for the foreclosures I don't think is going to be much of a realistic plan. And just a reminder, I do have a newsletter in the description below. I have put a link to sign up. Also my referral program, just a reminder about that. It is new in 2021 this year, and you have up to 6 chances to win. So there are 4 drawings a year for a Visa gift card and 2 drawings a year for a $500 gift card to one of these great lodging establishments in our wonderful Washington area. And I do have a few spots left for my hot cocoa window paint night. So make sure to visit the link that I posted below and sign up for that if you are interested. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. My phone number and email address are on the screen there and in the description below. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this, please like, subscribe, set the little bell alert so you can see these in the future. Feel free to share this with anybody that may be interested in real estate or more, what's happening with mortgages. I'm really happy to share this information with you each week. If there's anything that you specifically want more information about, just let me reach out and let me know. Either we can have a private conversation about it or I can add it to this little show here. Well, thank you so much for joining me for South King County Market Update. I will be back here Friday at 3 p.m. next week, and I hope to see you then. Have a good one.